I got none other than Jeff Becerra from Possessed. Hello, Jeff.
Hey Ted, how's it going, man? It's good to see you.
Good to see. Good to virtually meet you. I never met you in person, man.
Yeah, that's odd.
It's very odd, dude. I
Yeah.
mean, dude, I would first of all, I want to say thanks for taking your time on Saturday to jump on the stream. I want to
Oh,
talk.
I'm a huge fan, and
I'm a
you know,
huge fan too. I'll just, like I normally do on my streams, I'll take it back old school. I bought seven churches at the record vault, 85,
yeah,
late 85, 86, around there.
cool, cool. Now that you've listened to all the things, then the Death Angel Possessed tour is coming up. Right? No,
Yeah, we'll touch upon that. I want to say when I first heard seven churches in 85, 85, 86, um, that's some death metal, dude, because I mean, this is coming from my point of view. I didn't hear about like the obituaries and all that Florida death metal until like 89, 90, but you guys started it in 85, my personal opinion. I mean,
83, really. I mean, if you think,
83.
because we were touring all the songs on Seven Churches, but like two in '83.
Okay. So,
Mhm.
I mean, you guys, I mean, I never heard guttural vocals, and I would like to say you're the pioneer of death metal.
Yeah, I mean, there was no straight out Cookie Monster, for lack of, I don't think that's not in. But and that's me toned down. Whenever I first started, they were like, "Whoa, whoa, calm it down." So that's my toned down voice. But yeah, that is definitely. If you listen to all, I think OSDM at the core is thrashing. Like true old school death metal has to have thrash because we blew up in the Bay Area. It's primarily thrash for the metal scene. And why throw the baby out with the bathwater? You know what I mean? Why take out the melodies and all the cool shit just to have I'm nothing against brutal death metal, but I like to have, music, so.
Of course, like melody and catchy stuff, but make it your own. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it should be like a test or like a jumping in to force yourself to listen to a whole album. It should be enjoyable.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Seven Churches is great. Then in '87, you did Beyond the Gates, which I thought at the time, man, when I bought the vinyl, that was great packaging, dude.
That's
It was opened up. It was on Combat. Am I correct? Was it
yeah,
Combat?
Combat and Roadrunner was just a distro company back then. So
Okay. Now, did you?
I think there was no logo on the original Beyond the Gates. Just a Beyond the Gates. It's just a sticker, because the PMRC was just pulling all our shit off the shelves. So.
Wow. Were you able to go to Europe for Seven Churches?
Yeah, we went with Voivod in '86 or
Wow.
'87. 86 or I don't know, 86 or '87. But we did the Possessed, Voivod, and Death Row European tour. Hell Comes Down too, and it was rad. That was my first time in Europe. It was crazy.
I bet, man. How did the fans take to you first time out there?
It was a riot. Like literally, it was a riot. We were late getting on one time for whatever reason, and the fans got restless and broke the barricade, smashed Carol O and broke his leg. Like they got a huge riot, and we had to come out and say, "Hey, man, if you don't calm down, we're leaving." But we had the back door open, ready to bolt because it was just that crazy. But they calmed down after we said that, and it was good. But it was phenomenal. I mean, it was back then we were just like from the garage and Ruthie's into Europe, and 2,000 plus capacity, 2,000 and up was really great. And I think this is really before the prime season of the European festival. So it was still like major gigs. Like we had 2-tractor trailer loads that carried around our PA. It was great. Like roadies, like just this beautiful blonde girl would hold my strap up and tune it. And I'd just put my head in and go out. It was really, really cool. It was like being 16. It was such a fantastic experience and so overwhelming. And I loved it. I loved it.
Europe's a great market, man. We love touring out there, and as you know, now, what was I gonna say? I'm just stoked that you're on, dude. I mean, fucking Possessed, dude. 3 albums. You did Seven Churches, Beyond the Gates, Eyes of Horror. That was produced by Joe Satriani. I mean,
yeah.
How did that come about? I mean,
well, Joe was Larry's guitar teacher, because there was this little music store in downtown Pinole Valley, right, kind of by the high school, within a few hundred yards, and it was called Fiataroni Music or Fiat Music. Now we had George Cole teaching there from the Berkeley Squares, who mentored people like Danny Jones and oh God, so many, I won't even get into it. And then we had Joe Satriani teaching there. So you'd pay your $20 a half an hour and go into the back room. But then, or something, I forget the exact price, but they sold like all copies, instruments, but instead of cheap copies, they were quality copies. Like my first P bass was a C series. And I swear to God, it was better than a regular C series. But anyway, I'm branching off. But then Joe put out a thing in the paper that said, lessons $20 a half an hour. And since we knew him from there, Larry signed up with him, and the rest is history. That guy literally transforms musicians. Like Kirk Hammett was awesome. He spent a year or two or however long with Joe, and he came back. Like everything was just enhanced. You know what I mean? Or like Steve Vai, or he had a way of taking people and bringing out the best of them, and he's really an intelligent guy.
Wow. So, I mean, so who approached him to produce Eyes of Horror? Was it him or?
Yeah, I think Larry asked him at one of his practices, and he's like, yeah, I think it was like $4,000 or $6,000.
Wow. How was it with Joe in the studio?
He's really quiet, calm, sober, articulate, and and because we'd only been to like garage studios, we pretty much just threw ourselves in his backpack and trusted him. And I don't mind the production at all of Eyes of Horror, but some people really hate it, some people really love it. But I think it's a Barry Essentials type of album. So I think he really brought it out he by understating it, it still stated,
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, it's my least favorite. There's some cool songs, but it's my least favorite.
Yeah, most people say Beyond the Gates is the worst production, but now and I always thought, oh, Joe Satriani did it, and it's great. But then Peter Tägtgren was like, what happened with Eyes of Horror? I was like, what? Oh, sucks. But I mean, back then, it was about the music and not the production. So
yeah, that's true. Now you guys did 3 albums, and you broke up in '87.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Was it due to Larry leaving to join Blind Illusion, or what happened there?
I think in part because remember when I met the Mikes, they were just 2 guys in a garage. I don't believe they played a gig or anything. They were playing like Priest and Maiden covers. We came in, became Possessed. We tried out Brian Montana for a while, but he didn't really fit. He was like a square peg in a round hole. Great guy, funny, lovable guy. Just he didn't work out. Him and Mike kind of clashed, and so then I kind of rallied to get Larry because politically you want Confederates, on your side. You know how bands are. It's like being married to 3 or 4 ugly women. And and so we got Larry. And also it was because before I joined Possessed, I was like in my band, our Blizzard, the one I started in my room, and they were all dropping acid and going to Grateful Deads, and I hate all that hippie shit. I was like, let's play like Fade or Motorhead or Venom. And they kicked me out. I pressed too hard. They kicked me out. So I was like all hurt, like I don't know if you've ever been kicked out of a band, but it's worse than a divorce. And so like literally like the next week, I was approached to join Possessed. So it was a great opportunity not only to go heavy like we wanted, and it was fate that I met like-minded people like Mike and Mike. And but then afterwards I went back and got Larry and Debbie. And then I broke up the Blizzard practice and said, you guys are out. This is the Possessed room now. So I got my revenge. I got Larry and I got Debbie on one fell revenge swoop. Yeah.
Wow, dude. Fucking A. But when Possessed, what was the cause of Possessed breaking up? I never, you were here one day and gone the next, it seemed like,
Well, we had been touring and, we were entertaining offers from majors. And we toured and I thought everything was okay. But, when Larry quit, I think he'd become so instrumental in Possessed. Like he plays all the rhythms on the albums and he plays the solos and he was writing more and more. And me and Larry, we had some, training and background in playing live. So even though we were younger, we were kind of a lot elevated and not to take anything away from Mike to Mike's because they're super genius in their own right. And, but that's another story. So I come up to practice Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. And I come to the practice and everybody's kind of looking at their feet. And I was like, hey, what's up? And they're like, yeah, Larry said, they said Larry has something to say. And Larry was like, yeah, I'm going to quit Possessed and join Blind Illusion. I was like, oh, well, I wish you luck because I can totally understand that. It's not a lateral move. It's going to jam with one of our heroes, hometown heroes, Les Claypool. And Larry, he was always into like Zappa and like all kinds of crazy shit. And it made sense. You know what I mean? But I was like, well, we'll just, get another, what are we going to do? And then Mike Trera said, well, I've had it. I don't want to tour anymore. I just want to go back to my normal life. And Mike Such said, yeah, life's not for me. And I want to go back to college. And I, as much as I love them and hated to see them go, and it broke my heart. Right.
Yeah, I bet.
And that each man's an individual. Not everybody wants to wake up and say, oh, I spent the last 40 years in a satanic death metal band. But for me, it's the end all and be all of my universe. I love it. But they just wanted to go back to normal life, and they're doing really well. I mean, and so, I'm happy for them. But, you have to move on.
Yeah, you do. It sucks that, especially when you're that young and you're so into your band. And
we missed a step. I mean, if we would have kept going, we would have been huge, so.
Yeah. You would have been up there with the obituaries and all that. But you know what? It's not too late, bro.
Well, now it's not so much about being huge. Now it's just about like making good music. And, I don't really trip off money and fame and shit like that. What I trip off of is the people in the audience, and I try to read their vibe. And I love, making friends. And like, to me, being in a band is just a excuse to go out and make friends,
Yeah, and you get to play music, you travel the world, just meet all the cool people and just experience life.
Yeah,
Life.
all the cool people and yell satanic imagery at them.
Yeah. Now, what were you doing anything musical when Possessed was disbanded?
Yeah, I mean, I wrote. I did several little projects. I wrote "Thou Art in the Kingdom of Hell" lyrics for Nunslaughter. I was definitely at an 8-track Yamaha analog recorder and a sampler. I even had turntables, and I would just mix all kinds of stuff. And I wrote probably hundreds and hundreds of songs, probably hundreds. But then I did a guest backup vocals on Schizo's "Metallic Tyrants." I did a college project with my friend Kenny Bertoncini, or rest in peace, called Side Effect Hemorrhage. And I corresponded as much as I could with the fans. And I have a computer, so it was snail mail, and it was a time of destruction and growth. Like, I wasn't in a good state after I got shot, so it took me mostly post-traumatic stress disorder lasts like a year to 3 years. Mine lasted 5 because I was constantly getting fucked up, you know what I mean? And so it kind of stunted that, but it was my way of dealing with it. And once it was dealt with, I just set the bottle and drugs away and went to college. And so, but yeah, I wrote a lot. And then in college, junior college, I took beginner, intermediate, advanced classical, and, appreciation, and, some jazz stuff, and, along as like an extra along with my regular curriculum. So yeah, I still played.
That's awesome. Now, you mentioned you got shot. There's a lot of hearsay and a lot of stories going around, but
yeah, I got shot.
Do you mind telling that story?
No, I don't mind at all. Like I say, I've been in a chair longer than I've been walking, so that is a lifetime ago. So I worked 13 hours at a concrete construction business, and on the way home, I stopped to get a pack of cigarettes, and there was a couple guys milling around outside. I noticed he had a pistol in his hip, but in his belt, but that's not unusual for where I was at and back then. And so I went in, and I guess I paid with 100. It was kind of a week. And when I came out, I got cornered. One guy was about 15 feet away with a pistol, a 22 pistol, which is weird. And the other guy was right on me, pressing the 9mm, just stabbing it in my gut and pushing on my chest, saying, give me all the money, give me all the money. And I kind of resisted. Like I said, I ain't got no money. I just spent it, and I should have just gave it to him. But he got fed up. He took the pack of cigarettes. He goes, I'll take these, and pressed it into my chest and shot. And then I knew the guy would get scared. I don't know how I thought of it, just a reactionary. But as soon as he hit, it was like a knee-jerk reaction, pop, pop. So I put my hand up before, and it clicked my finger off backwards. I don't know if you can see that, but it went right by my ear, And so I just hit the ground like a ton of bricks. And he put the gun to my forehead and it jammed, which is weird. It sounds like a lie, but it's so true. He was slapping it. And finally, they just took off. They ran. And as soon as they took off, they were shooting the gun unjammed. He was shooting over his shoulder. The guy with the pistol shooting. It was just like, doo, 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 doo. And so I just kind of played dead there for like 45 minutes, up like 20 minutes first. And then a little, like this cute little black girl came by and I said, hey man, can you call 911? And she was like, I can't, I live in this neighborhood. They'll get me. I was like, I'll give you $10. She's like, $10. So I pulled out with my good hand, I pulled out $10, a $18 bill. And then she disappeared. I was like, fuck, she's never coming back. But then another 20, 25 minutes or so, a cop comes skidding up, and it was this redheaded rookie cop. He's like, this is my first night soloing. Oh, I can't believe this is happening. But I felt like the first time I was ever felt safe because the cops came, And so I said, hey, you need to call an ambulance. He's like, oh, yeah, yeah. So he stood guard over me until the ambulance came. And the rest is history. I went to John Muir intensive care or the surgery. And then after that, I did a few months in Vallejo rehabilitation, like to learn how to take care of myself again. Because they said I would never feed myself again.
Wow.
So I got better. I lifted weights. I still donate machinery and weight stuff to that Vallejo. Shout out to Vallejo physical rehabilitation. But yeah, it's cool. They put a pin in a bar, like a rod in my finger, and they bolted it together with screws. And it actually works pretty good for classical and for bass because it's permanently bent. So then it was, I did all that rehab and stuff, and I came out and just basically, not to get too negative, but I tried to kill myself with drugs and alcohol for about 5 years. That didn't work. So I set the bottle down and went to college. I was like,
wow. Well, one, I'm glad you're alive. And I'm glad you 5 years is a long time, but I'm glad nothing happened and you just decided to just, what, I gotta get my shit together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a time with every catastrophic injury, I think it's followed by kind of a mental break. I mean, if I think if people are pretty the same that way. And once you stop feeling sorry for yourself and kind of pick yourself up by the bootstraps, not to say that I don't have empathy for paralyzed and injured people and of all types around the world, but playing the victim and drinking and drugs to try to forget what happened is not the way to go. And you might as well, it's not a waste of time, but if you're not growing and you get stuck there, it's like, like that saying, if you stare long enough into the abyss also stares back into you. So you got to kind of snap out of that. I stopped feeling sorry for myself and fucking went for it. I made straight A's through junior college, then straight A's through university, and president of my class, the webmaster. I was one of 20 gold robes, and I'm on 2 honor societies, lifetime members. I can use any California college library I want, or to check, your family tree, those libraries. And it was great, man. It was a real experience. I mean, as much as college sucks and it's hard as hell, it's also something that gave me my spirit back, my self-worth, where before I was like timid and meek, and then I came out strong, because you can't write music. It's like if you're walking in the desert and you're dying of thirst, you're not going to write poetry and read books. You're going to be living. So once you get to a coffee place, it's great,
What did you study for? Did you major in anything?
Yeah, I majored in labor studies, which is like essentially civil rights, labor law, labor economics, women in work, minorities in work. And the cherry on the top is it's all under the umbrella of unionism. So basically, a union organizing type thing, because I was way into the unions. And then I minored in social science, so that, like an emphasis on the healthcare, the fee structures, like you have pay to play or HMOs, or so just comparing the different business models of and intensely in the economics of that of hospitals. So
that's very impressive, bro.
Yeah, well, I mean,
fucking from death metal to that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool. I mean, you got out of it. You went to school. You educated yourself. Now, I mean, do you have a family and all? You married?
I'm divorced.
Oh, okay.
best friends with my ex. I have 2 kids. I have Jeffrey Benjamin Becerra Jr., same name, but Junior. I'm a senior now. He's 20. He's on the martial arts and
Nice, nice. What kind of martial arts?
all kinds basically, but like he incorporates karate and jujitsu and Muay Thai and judo. Yeah, I already said that, but he like everything he can from Krav Maga or whatever, and from Tim McGraw to no, I'm just kidding. But he's just like whenever you see him, he's just like looking at YouTube trying to get grapples and whole stuff. So, and he got a big dragon on his arm like dad, and he's really cool. He's like a younger, beautiful perfection version of me. Like if you stripped all the bad shit away, that's Junior. And then I have my lovely daughter Sunny. I call her Sunny, but her name's Sonia, and she's 17, and she's just so dreamy. She's wonderful. I love her. Really quiet, really articulate, really really just they're both just complete individuals.
That's great, man. Seems like things are on the up and up. You have a good family. You mentioned your divorce. You still get along, and that's awesome. You get along with your ex-wife. You have kids who are doing really well.
Yeah.
Now that you finished school, you got a good family. What made you get Possessed back together? Was that something you that you planned on doing, or was
Well, I lost it for a while because when I got shot, I was just so miserable and I lost sight. But it was always that pinpoint of light at the end of the tunnel, because if you are like me, I'm miserable if I'm not in a band. Like I feel out of like a fish out of water. So I needed to get myself sturdy and strong, and it took from 90 to 2007 or late 2006 2007 to where I felt like I'm in a space where I can really, really do it and not fuck it up. Like I didn't want to just come out and, play some watered down version of Wannabe Morbid Angel or something. I wanted to be the real Possessed. And so in order to do that, Possessed is a really weird band. It's got, it's got a lot like a spirit in it, and you can't just come off the street and play Possessed. You have to really it has to be like your skin. So we toured for since 2007 till 2019, and those guys like 3 times almost longer than the original or whatever that is. And these guys are like the most possessed of anybody I've been through. So
now, when you got Possessed back together, did you reach out to like both mics to see if they were interested in doing it, or did you just figure, no, I want to just get some new guys?
Well, they had already quit on me, so there's your answer. Like if somebody quits a band, it doesn't make sense to go ask them to join again.
Yeah, but there's some times where guys quit the band and maybe just reaching out. Time has gone by for so long.
Yeah, they made it very evident they didn't want any part of it. So.
Are they still doing music at all?
Not in a mean way, but they're happy where they're at. They don't want to, you don't want to take like a normal guy and throw him into it. That's a lifetime ago. What was your question? I'm sorry.
Are they still doing music at all, other than Larry?
I talked to Larry, but I don't really communicate with. I haven't talked to Seuss or Terrell in over 30 years, probably, or maybe I talked to Seuss for a second, and but he's happy. He wants to put the past behind him, and I think they're both like that. They don't want to think about Possessed. They want to do what they're doing,
Gosh. I'm going to go back a little bit. I never saw Possessed with you in the band. I saw it with Terrell.
Yeah.
That was like in 93. It was I think it was him on vocals, and I think it was Paul Perry on bass, Walter Ryan on drums, and I think some dude named Bob on guitar.
Yeah. Bob Ghost, that's my old roadie. He's a good friend.
Yeah, that's the only time I saw them, and I was like, it wasn't Possessed, so, but because I think they were playing with Machine Head, so I just ended up going to the show, and I was like,
they headlined, they had open for
them.
And I was proud of him.
Right.
I was super laid up there, but again, he quit. He doesn't want to do it. So there's your answer. Doesn't make sense. No disrespect. Yeah. If he quit twice, it's not a good track record.
Plus, how does Larry feel?
To be honest, those guys wouldn't make the cut today. No disrespect, but we've elevated, we've been playing this entire time, so, you can't just, it's not like riding a bike, so.
Yeah, that's true. Larry stoked that you're doing it again?
Yeah, Larry is amazing. He's the same old Larry, like just fun, happy, like totally like chill. He has him and Trail and social media presence. So I called Larry the last time we were doing some business, and we talked for like a long time. Oh no, we were texting, and he said, I said, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm the lunch lady. I'm playing lunch lady." So he's sitting there making sandwiches for his kids.
Oh, nice.
And they went platinum, so I'm sure he's doing well. And he's just the same old Larry, just a nice, chill guy.
Awesome. When you got Possessed back together, you got the backing band was Sadistic Intent the first time, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Dude, Emilio's a beast on the drums, man.
He is the hyper octopus. Yeah, he's amazing, and that's exactly why I kept him. Yeah, and yes, Sadistic is awesome, but we started out and we got our feet, but we were dropped like B flat, or we were dropped way down, and that's hard to sing over, and we weren't really articulating the songs perfectly. And I wanted to, they were really good at being Sadistic Intent, but like I said, it's hard to beat and Possessed. So we had kind of a little falling out after the Danzig tour. We played one last show, and they were like, I guess Emilio and them were fighting, and Rick said, "Unless you kick out Emilio, we're gone." And I was like, "Well, Emilio's the best one in the band," so I kept Emilio, and I gave him I said, don't quit now, think about it in a week. And so he didn't call back. So after a couple of months, I called him, and he was like, you started up without us. And I was like, no, I told you, I've emailed you, but I could tell he wasn't really into it. His heart wasn't into it. And we amicably split, because I think that we're better off concentrating on our real bands instead of trying to mix and mingle,
Yeah. I mean, Emilio's a beast, and he came out to our show in LA last December. And I was like, "Oh, hey, man." He just came out and gave us all Possessed shirts. And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool, man. Thanks." He's a cool dude. I mean, I remember seeing Sadistic Intent way in the 90s, and I thought they were an intense band ahead of their time,
Yeah.
And, and we talked on the phone. I remember you go, "Wait, we're still practicing in Emilio's garage."
Yeah, we do. We're in South Central.
Whoa. What a neighborhood, huh?
It's not, the TV makes it. It's actually not bad at all.
Gotcha. Now, before you started writing this new record, which is incredible.
Thank you.
Incredible. You just went on tour and played all the first 3 albums just to get into the vibe of being Possessed again, huh?
Weird, because after so it's 2007, 8, 9, 10, 13. So after 12 years or 13 years, there's still people that didn't even know we existed still. So it's a trip. You have to get that exposure with the album. But yeah, we toured and toured and toured. We made sure everybody had to be, I needed the right lineup. And I've been through like over 20 members. So finally I found the core lineup, which is, now we had Tony Campos on bass, which is great, but he left to concentrate on Soulfly. Now he's doing the Static X thing. And Tony's a wonderful bass player.
Yeah. I love Tony.
But he had to, he broke off to do his own thing, and I understand that. And of course, Robert has been a longtime friend. He's a monster. He's a monster on bass. He's one of those like roots that just is so dug into the ground and makes everything stable. And so we got Robert Cardenas on bass. We got, of course, Emilio Marquez, and then we went through like Mike Party and Kelly McLaughlin from Pestilence, and went through several guitarists, and then we finally found Claudius Kramer, which is amazing. I put out a Facebook post and said, "Who's the best guitarist you know for Possessed?" And over 100 responses came back, Claudius Kramer. I was like, I didn't even know the fucking guy, but he said we met or played together a long time ago. But so I just flew him out to LA, and he's amazing. Like from the first note, he was it. Like you just knew it. And then I'm saving Dan for last, because Daniel Gonzalez was also relatively unknown when I met him. He was in a band called Nail Shitter, but they broke up. And his girlfriend at the time, Lindsay Turnbull, I said, man, I can't find a guitar. And she's like, my boyfriend is awesome. You would love him. And I was like, yeah. You know how many times I've heard that, right? We held open tryouts. We had a whole line of people and they would know like part of the rhythm of Eyes of Horror, but really just showed up to meet me. So it was like, we went through dozens of those. And then a couple of them almost made it. And then when Claudius did it, it was like a pro, like a studio musician. He's just amazing. And then, then when and then Dan, of course, I'm back to Dan. I gave him a chance. This is a favor to Lindsay, but I was skeptical as fuck. So I flew him out. And from the very first note, he was the best guitarist I've ever jammed with. So wow. He also went to college for producing and engineering. I think he does like stage setups for big time events, like for a living. And he really is like the trifecta, you know, he's everything. He's a quiet guy and just really smart on guitar and recording. And so, you know, he could have produced the album by himself, I'm sure. So,
but you know, this album, Revelations of Oblivion, man, I mean, it's you didn't stray away from the sound, dude. The only difference between this and the old one and the older material is the production. You know, the guys, I mean, you co-wrote a lot of the songs with the guys in the band. They definitely have that Possessed DNA, especially the sound, you know, the signature rototoms, you kept that, which is awesome. The riffs are really, the production's awesome. It's definitely Possessed. I don't, if people don't have this album, they should get it. They won't be disappointed because it's true Possessed with modern production. I dig it, man. You did a good job on that one, bro.
Yeah. There's also mistakes on it too. So
but you got, I don't know that. Maybe you might know that, but that's the beauty of it. You know what I mean?
Oh, there's still,
you know, that there's always going to be something about an album you record later on. You go, oh, I wish I could have done it better. But then you'll just keep chasing the dragon. If you just stay in the studio, you know, and just keep going.
Even with Rue, you know, I call it Rue, Revelations of Oblivion. But even with Rue, I want to bring the bass up. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like the bass is a little bit too low. So I'm going to make sure to do that on the next album, which I'm writing for now.
Dude, how long did it take you to write Revelations?
Well, I had like fucking since I have material from 80 and 81 in there. I mean, that was easy because I just had stacks of songs and books. And I literally just highlighted stuff because I'll write in one way, like in a different structure and a different structure. And then I can mix and match, you know, so I'll pick up parts and move it around. So I have like spiral notebooks, and I'll wake up, and it's always by my bed. I wake up from like what I call a great nightmare and just jot it down real quick, you know, and then go back to sleep. And I'll wake up in the morning and go, oh shit, like that was Eyes of Horror. I just wrote it down after a drink. And so, yeah, I mean, I had shit from since right after I got shot to now. And then we just kind of just nailed it down and worked it. So, I mean, the whole creation process was, you know, a year, maybe two.
Did you take advantage of technology like writing and sending files to each other, or did you guys actually get together in a room like the old school days and hashed it out?
No, we, Dan, the way we do it is we'll record on a Pro Tools on a laptop. So, you know, we'll get, you know, the Dan will write a riff, and then he'll write to a click track in a drum machine. Then he'll send it to Emilio, who will record real drums. We take away we save the click track, but hide it, you know, and then we take away the drum machine, and then it goes to Bobby, and then he records, you know, remotely, and then, you know, pass it around. And last, Dan will fly out to my house, and we go in my basement, and I record the vocals. So we essentially had the whole album before it even got signed, recorded. And so we sent that to Nuclear Blast, and they were like, this is great, sign them. The email said from Marcus, the owner of Nuclear Blast, he said, Christmas came early, sign them. And so we negotiated the contract for like a year and a half. And then once the lawyers finished with all that, we it was great. But anyway, so I don't know where I'm going, the coffee's kicking in. But
same here, bro.
and we just set up like a vocal mic, you know, like in the basement, and I yelled. And it's funny because whenever I do some things that are not textbook, Deanna was like, he's like, no, that's not going to work. No, people will laugh. I'm like, just record it to see what it sounds like. I'm like, are you not going to press record? Like, are you refusing to record me? And we'll get in these little arguments, like, and we'll hash it out. I'm just like, fucking try it. We can always delete it later. So we tried. He's like, I hate it. And then a week later, he's like, you know what? I said, are we going to do that part? He goes, no, I like it now. It grew on to be. So we'll get in these little like spats, like, but they're productive spats. And,
But that's good. It shows that you guys care for the project, you know?
oh, it's intense, man. It takes a lot out of you. You know how it is. Like, you can't just be like, oh, I'm recording an album. Like, it's like mind altering, just everything, you know, it takes over your world. So
It does. You get into this bubble and you can't think of anything but the new record, you
yeah.
know? And there's a lot of back and forth. You're like, but the end product is good.
Yeah, I mean, I was reading some thing and talking about there's two kinds of stress. There's what's the same kind, but how you manage it. There's distress and there's eustress, and like EU. And if you can take that distress and turn it over into the positive stress, it's like energy, you know? It's
Yeah.
like, so that's the trick with me, is to take that positive and make it, I would take that negative and turn it into positive, like energy, you know? Like Peter Stormer said, you know, we all have demons. You don't want to exercise your demons. You want to take those, so funny, take those demons, what I always say, and shove them into your dick, you know, and shove them into your crotch and use that just to fuck the world, you know? And I was like, wow, you know, like Peter's super, you know, so that's true though. I mean, it's like, you know, coffee only goes so far, but music is the best.
It is, dude. It is. Before I get into, you know, you got Peter from Hypocrisy that produced the record with you, right?
Yeah.
Before we get into that, we're gonna Deanna from South America sent in a video question for you.
Oh, nice.
And I want to play it for you right now, if you don't mind.
How fun.
Okay, check this out.
Hello, my dear Jeff. Greetings from Colombia, South America. It's Diana here, and I don't know. What would ask? I guess. Do you have a girlfriend? Greetings, love you. Yeah. Oh, Nico says hello too. Bye.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't like to put my personal life out there, but you know,
It's your, I mean, I just played it for you. It's your call. I'm not.
I do. Yeah, I do in a way. You know?
All right.
Yeah,
Good man.
There's a you know, yeah, but you know, I don't like to go public. People hate my relationships and they try to destroy them online. No.
Yeah, online could be, I mean, social media could be it's a good and bad thing, but you know, who cares? Let's talk about some Possessed here, bro.
Yeah.
Speaking of South America, have you guys been down there?
Yes, we have a couple times, 2 or 3 times. I don't even know. I'm so late. All I do is get in the bus. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, but South America is tough because there's no bus ride. It's all flights. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We've done a South American run 3 weeks, like 10 years ago. It's hard because you got to fly every day.
Flights you take?
I don't know, dude. We were flying every day, 3 weeks. I don't know, man.
We took 23 flights.
Jesus, dude. You know,
In class, you know.
But those fans are rabid down there, huh?
They're amazing.
They're out of control, you know, especially for thrash metal. You gotta love it down there.
Yeah, definitely. South America is wonderful. We had some crazy experiences out there.
Now, Peter from Hypocrisy produced a new record. How did that come about? Did you reach out to him? Did he reach out to you?
Oh, that came out. A lot of people go, "Oh, you're going to get on a record label. You're going to sound like everybody else." They don't have a clue what it's about. You know what I mean? Like literally, when you sign a contract, they say, "Here's some money. Bring us back an album." You know, and they might give some helpful suggestions. You know, but you know as well as I'm free to do whatever I want. You know, I got money. It's up to, I just have to deliver an album and they have proof. So what I did was, I've been out of the scene so long, like I'm like, not like, I don't just like look at other bands and listen to other bands all the time. Like I'm really focused on what I'm doing. And a lot of people are like that metal encyclopedia, like Robert and Dan and all that. I'm not like that. Like I don't know but I know the bands that I hear while I'm on tour or they come to me. But anyway, so I digress. What was I saying? Oh, okay. So I made a list of my top favorite picks for producers, right? So I essentially Googled death metal, the best death metal producers, right? And so I'd seen reoccurring names, and I wrote all those down. And Peter kept popping up. So he was one of the original 10 towards the top. And so when it came back, I sent it to Gerardo Martinez, our brother,
Yeah.
Nuclear Blast. And he comes right back and he goes, we work with all of these except for these two. So I was like, whoa. Like, so then I took that list of 8 to the guys, and everybody like unanimously goes, Peter, because Peter's more organic and he would fit the Possessed vibe more. And plus he's been a fan since he's a teenager. So Peter came out of retirement to produce the Possessed album.
Right on, man. I mean, he did a great job on that one. Was he fanboying out on you?
He was very well. I mean, he's a fan, so I mean, we both, I was just proud that he looked at me, on an equal level. You know what I mean? So, but he definitely loves Possessed, and we definitely love Peter, and it's basically all business. So.
Gotcha. Now I'm going to take a step back here since it's a DA platform. Possessed did a West Coast tour with DA back in the day.
Oh yeah, we played a lot.
Yeah. Do you want to any cool fond memories from those days, from the shows with DA?
Yeah. God, I wish I knew the where we went. Do I remember going to like through Arizona maybe, or God, I forget. We were in the U.S. I know that, but we had that blue Chevy van that we bought for like $20, and we took all the back seats out and just put like comforters and blankets all over the floor, and we'd have 13 people laying in that van. But Mark, your singer Mark, he took one of those plastic milk containers, and I don't know if he remembers this. He put it up towards the front, but with his back towards the front of the van and looking at the audience, and just sat there talking. But he turned into like, it was like the best stand-up comedian that I ever. He just was so fucking and had so many stories. It was like better than a TV. Like we just watched Mark, and he's so funny, man. He's so fun, and he's intelligent. He's a great guy, man. I love that guy. He's really, really smart.
Yeah, dude. He's still funny till this day.
Does he still his hair with his hands and not a brush?
I brought that up to him at rehearsal. I go, I talked to Jeff the other day. He wanted to know if you still comb your hair with his hands. He started laughing. He goes, yes, I do.
That's so weird. Like I wouldn't that,
Yeah, but you guys did a lot of shows with him, man. I mean, like I said, I didn't get to see you then, but I remember seeing all the flyers. I was like, man, that's a cool bill,
Yeah, we did a bunch of Ruthie shows as far as I remember. I remember we were tight. I think you guys were even younger than us, and I think, I don't remember. I thought everybody was young though. I thought Chuck was younger than me. He's a year old. So, I mean, whenever you're a teenager, it's, you know what I mean? You're word,
Yeah, when you're a teenager, 25 years old seems old.
Oh yeah, definitely. I always said my entire life, I want to die at 50 years old. All the entire life. When I hit 50, I was like, I'm not ready. So I don't feel like I'm old at all. So,
gotcha. Dude, Possessed is such an influence. I mean, Max from Sepultura. I mean, Cavalier Conspiracy covered Exorcist. Cannibal Corpse covered a Possessed song. Am I correct?
Mm-hmm.
And having to go on tour and seeing all these people. I mean, what was a good moment for you from a musician, from someone you respected that came up to you and goes, dude, I really love Possessed?
Oh God, there's so many. I love everything that Max does. I don't know how aware of this, but whenever I came out and I was going through those 5 dark years, the thing that really brought me a long way, like lifting weights and listening to music, when you get pumped up and you're like working out and shit, is Arise and Beneath the Remains and Chaos AD Later. but I wore those fucking tapes out, man. I loved them. They were, I mean, so awesome. And I think that Max is just a genius. You never realize how good that guy is until you just watch him like on his instructional videos. The guy's a picking fucking machine. It's like so technically perfect, you know, like wow, like, and it's just so normal, you know, all of them are so practiced and well versed, and it's just amazing. One of my favorite bands. And got, you know, I met Max only once, and I took 3 dates with me to see him in San Francisco, and I made a fool out of myself trying to say it's me, and the girls were like, it's Jeff from Possessed, and he dedicated a song to me, and I wanted to play Exorcist, but then somebody came up to me afterwards and said, hey Max, I'll meet you out by the bus out back afterwards. So I met him, and we were all partying, and it was great. I was really standoffish, but it was neat to meet Max, and that's one of the people I really want to work with. Anyway, I just fanboyed on Max for a while.
That's okay, man. I'm a big fan of Max. You know, I'm a big fan of, you know, Max, Soulfly, and I'm a big fan of, you know, I'm a big fan of all those guys in Sepultura, whatever projects they're in.
Yeah. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Current Sepultura, old Sepultura, I'm a fan. I mean, those guys, I mean, they even mentioned Possessed in a lot of interviews when they first came out. You know, it was like Possessed, Venom, you know, Hellhammer and all that. So it's really good to see Possessed being recognized by a lot of
But bands. I have a couple more because the big highlights.
Please.
Lord Arion, I was like really cool to talk to him and notice, you know, or Abbott or you know who, oh my God, what's his name from the singer for Opeth? Is it Michael?
Michael.
Yeah.
Nice guy. Yeah.
I was beat. We just got into town. We were on the tour bus. I think we drove like 23 hours. And so I was crashed in my little bunk coffin. And our tour manager, our TM, came back with a phone video. And it was Michael, I think it's Michael, from Opeth. It gave me like a long ass video. He was like, you know, I used to just try to sing like you. We played death metal, and we played Possessed covers. And if I don't fanboy on anybody, but I think if I met you, you'd be the only person in the world I'd fanboy on. And it was just a really sweet, nice message. And I was like, holy shit, that was so cool, you know? And of course, you know, we grew up with Metallica. Even though we were friends, we still worship those guys. You know what I mean? Like, whenever you talk to James or Kirk or Lars, you're thinking, fuck, I'm talking to Lars, or, you know what I mean? Like, were you like that? I'm like that. So
I still get like that till this day. You know, my whole thing is once you lose the fanboy, you know, hang it up. You know, I still fanboy out, you know. Oh. I'm a fanboy. I like Possessed. I like, you know, I had Phil Demmel from Violence on my stream, and I was breaking it down. The songs I go, dude.
It was awesome.
Yeah, he's awesome, you know.
Ash Brothers, dude, Violence, fucking Death Angel, Exodus, Metallica, you know, like all those Bay Area bands, man. I mean, we were revolutionaries back in the 80s, you know.
I think so. I mean, everyone's like, I've always brought this up to like in interviews, you know, Bay Area bands, each of them have their own unique style.
Oh yeah, we would never ever think of copying another band back then. It was like we would never. I mean, you never just said, "Well, let's copy this band and play like them." That was like unheard of. You know what I mean? But now it's like the genres are so cookie cutter and clear. People are literally trying to sound like the genre. You know, it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, we could go on and on about that. I think, you know, I think technology has a part to do with that. You know, I mean, back in the 80s, when I was buying the records, I mean, every Bay Area band sought out to be different, but musically, production, the riffs, the vocals, everything. And, you know, that's what makes the Bay Area thrash music so loved around the world.
And regardless, the magazines would still call you clones, you know?
Yeah.
Like, magazine never knew the difference between Possessed and Slayer. To me, that's so fucking obvious. You know, they're different kinds of, but, you know, I love Slayer, but they're not like, I don't see how, you know, people would say, oh, they're just copying Slayer, because it was so different. You know what I mean?
It was. But now that you've been playing for a while with Possessed being back together, any favorite memorable gigs you've done that stands out in your mind?
God, there's so many. We played with Kiss. That was pretty cool. We played with Slipknot. That was pretty cool. God,
wow.
Huge, yeah. We played with ZZ Top. We played, oh God, we played a lot of, my most memorable gig is probably this, I forget what the club is called in the Czech Republic, but you go down like 2 flights of stairs into a basement. It's a little rat hole and there's no AC at all. And it's like 115 degrees in there, right? Like people are fainting and passing out. And my guys are trying to walk off stage early. And I love that because it's like, I get in warrior mode. Like, let's keep going. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's so challenging and hard that I'm literally singing and seeing white, like a fuzzy TV screen about to pass out. And the fans are going nuts. And it's like, they all know that club is like a rite of passage. Like so many bands pussy out and walk off that stage. And if you don't, you're like a hero there. I forget the name of it too, but it's crazy. It was awesome.
You know, those small clubs, those dives, there's something about the vibe in the place, even though it's small stage and sometimes the power is not good and lights are broken. There's just something about it when the energy, when it's packed house and all the fans are going crazy. It just sometimes it makes for even probably better than playing like a festival sometimes,
Oh, yeah. As much as I love festivals, I mean, a trial by fire is the small venues because there's no fake, you don't have 1,000,000 watts and 27 outboard effects and compressors, and you just have your instruments and a mic, you know what I mean? And you can really read the faces because they're right here next to you, and there's no faking it there. If I play too many festivals, I start feeling like a poser, but I love festivals, but
I do too. I do too. You get to play to a lot of people. I mean, but just, it's hard to choose between festivals and a small club because they're both good in their own way.
Mm-hmm.
So
any Ruthie's gig, Death Angel, Possessed, man, those were awesome shows.
Yeah. Well, so what's next for Possessed? Are you guys, I know with this whole COVID thing and whatever's going on, touring and all that's halted. Do you have any plans to go back on the road, like maybe next year?
Well, looking at 2022, if it works, I'm hearing on the news that there's a cure, but they're just waiting to make sure it works because it's got a couple of side effects.
Yeah.
And so that they've made a vaccine for COVID, but it does have some rather unpleasant side effects. So they're waiting because they need time to pass to make sure that we don't turn into zombies or whatever.
Yeah, totally. And
then also I noticed that some of the bigger venues are going to require testing before you go. And so, I don't think they test there. I don't know if you got to test at home or test there, but then the only way you can get in is by testing. So, but I don't see it happening. We had the tour for last March, and I think it was March, and we printed up the shirts with all the date, spent a lot of money on the shirts, and then it fell through. So we have like tons of merch, like a couple thousand shirts just sitting there with the wrong dates. And so I don't want to balk again because it's really disappointing to say, hey, I'm coming to Atlanta and then not come,
Yeah.
And so I'm waiting till it's for sure. And in the meantime, I'm taking advantage of this time to be on your podcast, to be on your podcast and to write the albums and to really try to branch out. Like I'm being considered as a part for a cartoon. We did the documentary. I can't talk about the cartoon, but it's gonna be cool. Like I'll Jeff in cartoon form. And
nice, dude.
Hope it goes through. And then I did that oh my God, use your words, Jeff. That film, a feature length documentary with Peter Stormare, because he's from Sweden, and Peter Tagman is from Sweden. So Peter Stormare was in the studio right next to us as I was starting a band, and then he walked in and everybody just ignored me. And when you're full of yourself and you're singing and you think you're the shit, then everybody walks away without saying anything. I was like, what the fuck? What am I, chopped liver? So then I said, who is that? And they're like, you don't know who that was? That's Peter Stormare, the actor, Lucifer and Constantine. It's like, that's my favorite actor. So I went out there when he went to get coffee. Whenever he came back in, I was like, hey, sorry, I didn't recognize. He was just in sunglasses with a long beard and Adidas sweats and flip-flops. And so we met him, and then he knew my entire story. He was like, you're like a phoenix rising from the ashes, and he's breaking it down, and it sounded like a treatment. I said, are you pitching me a film? He's like, yeah, fuck it, 50-50. No, let's not argue about money. We shook hands. The next day, he had a whole crew following me around for the next couple of months. And we filmed, we put GoPros on my wheelchair and did a whiskey show. We did, a whole bunch. I won't ruin it, but it's going to be a really cool feature-length film once the COVID's done, because they kicked our editor back to Sweden. So once that's done, the people will want to finance, and nobody's going to venture capital into something that you don't know it's going to depreciate or appreciate. We have to wait to see what the virus does. Then we'll organize it again and we'll release that film.
Wow, dude. I'm totally looking forward to checking out that film. What I mean? Fuck, dude. Jeff, I want to, I'm going to, how would I say it? I'm just, coffee's getting to me right now. I don't know whether I'm just hyper or whatever, but, to close this out, first of all, I want to thank you for jumping on this live stream. It's really good talking to you and about Possessed and what's going on. I want to let everyone know to pick up this record.
Revelation of Oblivion.
It's awesome. It's definitely Possessed. You did a great job. You and the fellas did a great job. It sounds, tell you the truth, it sounds like the originals are playing.
I think it's so.
It's a great album. And you know what? The floor is yours. If you want to tell everyone out there how to follow Possessed on socials or anything, got a website, shoot it out.
Oh yeah. Well, we're at official, Facebook. We have Facebook. I think it's like official, Possessed official or official Possessed. We have Instagram, which is Possessed_official. The Twitter, which is just Jeff Becerra. And I have a personal Facebook, Jeff Becerra. Follow me on Instagram. I'm trying to really work on my Instagram game is weak. I need to pump it up, so.
You've been doing a good job. I follow you. We follow you. Death Angel follows you. You guys, you're doing a good job, man.
I follow you guys too. Yeah. I try to get all that. I know I'm missing a ton of people, but I just wanted to tell everybody I love them and thank you for waiting, 30 years for me to come back. And we have a lot of new young fans, like teenagers, which it seems so crazy that, Possessed is back. We're back. And the best is yet to come,
The best is yet to come for you guys, for everyone. You just got, like you say, take the negative and turn it into a positive.
That's true.
And everything's going to be good.
Yeah.
Jeff, thank you. Stick around for a bit. I want to thank everyone for tuning in on the live and streaming with none other than Jeff Becerra from Possessed. Don't forget to get the album, Revelations of Oblivion. You won't be disappointed. And also, just for a good promo, Death Angel's doing a virtual Christmas show, December 19th and 20th. Get your tickets at deathangel.us. We also have new merch, so go to our website too for all that info. Jeff, thanks again.
And coming up on the 20th. Oh, let me just plug my Gimme Metals.
Do it, man.
November 20th, also at noon Pacific Standard Time or 3 Eastern Standard Time. So come join the live chat. Make sure to hit that chat button and chat with us.
Yeah, on Gimme Metal, right?
GimmeMetal.com, yeah.
Well, since you're promoting Gimme Metal, I want to promote Will Carroll's Gimme Metal every Monday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard. Full Metal Jacket. That's right, Full Metal Jacket. And you gotta, it's a good radio show Will does. What I like about it, I tune in every now and then. He's not like, he plays good songs. It's not like, regular radio stations where they play the hits. Will has a good theme. And I think his theme this Monday is Kill Part 2. I could be wrong, but
nice.
So go ahead.
We play a lot of the same songs too. And so I was listening the Dirk how do you say it? Dirk from Megadeth, Verboom.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say his last name. Dirk B, the awesome spider monkey from Megadeth. He's got a show there too, right?
Yeah, a lot of people got a show there. Everyone has their good shows, but I'll check out your show, but everyone should check out Jeff's show, check out Will's show, and everyone have a good Saturday, have a good weekend. Jeff, thank you. Thanks for joining.